Well, I'm on the Valley View Trail, part 2. I got a chance to get past that sign. I'm not going to go very far. I go to the point where they're working on this trail today, but I'm about maybe 200 yards up from the start of the trail when the trailhead in the valley here. Anyway, you can see the eucalyptus tree way up on the top of the hill. Big, nice, not too big, nice gum eucalyptus right up there by itself. There's so much activity in these hills that I'm sorry, it scared me for a second. The voice came out of nowhere. It's my phone. I lost internet. I mean, Wi-Fi. Okay, so anyway, that's the hills where the groves are. I took lots of pictures up there last time I was up in the top of Hazelnut Trail. And all these are just a lot of hazelnut trees and a mixture of Mediterranean coastal growth here. I won't go into too much detail because I've ran over those before in all of my other videos I've made. So I'm going to continue up here on this trail as far as I can until they get to the point where they're doing the tree work, and I have to kind of back off. I'm not even supposed to be on the trail right now, but we'll see how it goes as they go along. Okay, so again, it's July the 18th, 2019. I'm about 5 miles inland from the Pacific coast here in the San Pedro Valley Park, Valley View Trail. This is the opposite side of the valley from where I was the last time. This would be considered the north side of the little valley here, and a little breezy today. Let me get this little strap from bouncing around in front of my viewfinder. Yeah, it's breezy today. It's a beautiful day though for hiking. Any days that you get a chance to get out and go hiking is a good day. I'm far from home. I'm about 110 miles from my home in Stockton, but this is my old town, so these are like my old stomping grounds where I used to do a lot of hiking before. So you run into some deer, some bobcats. Once in a while a mountain lion might come through here. Coyotes, fox, and what other critters happen to be up there on the mountain that make a lot of noise. As you can see, surrounded by a naturally unnatural eucalyptus forest that they've adapted so well to in California that we just leave them alone because they have such beauty and able to give off a wonderful scent. They haven't had any forest fires here along the coast because they're so close to the ocean, because they have a marine layer that keeps them from getting to be a fire hazard. Although in late summer they do post signs saying medium to high fire hazard, but it hasn't happened, thank God, not yet. And I lived in this town for 30 years. Anyway, so we'll go as far as we can and take in some of the views from this little trail. A few snapshots here and there. The air in here is cool and fragrant. Be looking for unusual structure here as we go through, something beyond just regular branch or bark fall. I'm hearing that voice on my phone tell me what Verizon wireless when I'm in range and out of range, but I gotta remember to ignore it. Nobody's talking to me. Anyway, you see here, these are medium-aged trees. They couldn't be more than 60 to 80 years old. Probably planted in the 20s or 30s by the civilian works projects back then. And some here were planted and some just basically took off on their own when birds pick up the acorns and drop them and they get fertilized, and next thing you know there grows another tree. As you can see here, all kinds of unusual shapes of these branches, and leaners and you name it, it's here. And anyway, I remember to keep my eyes open. Go back in there, you get a chance of getting poison oak pretty bad, so that's why I'm trying to stay on the trail here, because of the danger of poison oak. Lots of berry bushes, lots of brambles, and little surprises once in a while. I have walked up on the trail before in a later hour where deer come down to feed in that big meadow, and you see them crossing the path or sharing the path with you as they pass you by. Usually they get way ahead of you, but they're pretty docile because they know they're not in a threat to be shot or hunted down. So you can see the poison oak right here. Everywhere you turn, anywhere off this trail, you have high danger of getting issues with poison oak. This is your, I think this is blue gum eucalyptus tree. There's a blue gum and then there's a white globulus, which is more of a straight grower, tall straight up, it grows straight up in the air with its adjacent branch trunks like this, but I get confused between the two, but they do grow pretty big. Up there where the fog is going over the hill over to the east of me, it's right near the San Francisco watershed, the north end of the San Andreas watershed. And that's where I suspect that there's a lot of habitat for bipedal, I would call them forest creatures or just bipedals, cryptids, Bigfoot, Sasquatch. I believe they live up there, those clusters of trees. And there's a lot more water up there. And there's a lot of great hunting grounds all the way through these hills. Looking back across the way, you can see how the other trail is working its way up the mountain. Right here, pan in a little bit, you can see how the other trail goes straight uphill and goes through these switchbacks to get to the top. The top is pretty much covered with fog right now, but that's what makes it interesting. A little mysterious actually, but it makes it very interesting when you hike. You never ever lose the feeling of being watched as you walk through there. I'm probably being watched right now, but I'm not worried about it because that's just par for the course. That's just what we do when we go out here researching. We expect that. Little resting bench looking down about, right now we're at about a 300-foot elevation down to the main trail, and it's going to continue on. I'm not thirsty yet, so I'm going to wait till I get further up and take a drink of water and continue onward here. I probably hiked about a quarter mile in right now. This trail is about 1.75 miles, so it's pretty short and sweet. Maybe later, if I get lucky, if I feel energetic, I'll go to the other side and film where you got lots of clusters of crisscross branches of eucalyptus that look like giant X's, symmetrical X's, and leaners, and not tree bends so much, but a lot of leaners and upside down branches and stuff. I forget what these white flowers, I forget what they call them. A lot of coastal wildflowers here. This is what you call coastal chaparral right here. Not as dry as Southern California, but we're in the dry season right now. Rain finally ended the third week of May. Maybe we'll get another bit of rain until late October, early November, maybe, depending on if it's going to be a drought year or not. But that's usually the case. We're never sure exactly what kind of year we'll have with all this climate engineering we're doing with the HARP up in Alaska and playing games with humankind here. It used to be normal to have 7 years of drought, 3 years of heavy rains in the winter, and then 5 or 7 more years of drought, and then heavy rains again. So that's kind of the normal part. The average rainfall here on the coast is 25 to 28 inches of rain a year. And this year we got probably 40 on the coast, maybe 45. And probably a drought year would be considered 10 to 15 inches. So, like I say, it does rain, but it won't be raining as much. Foxgloves. I think these are foxgloves. These little flowers here. Yeah, I'm basically hanging here in Pacifica till after 7 o'clock because I don't want to get hung up in that commute traffic back to Stockton. It could be brutal. Sometimes it takes 3.5 to 4 hours to get home. And I hate that kind of bumper to bumper driving in traffic. It's well worth the stay anyway. Maybe I'll watch the sunset. So you can see here, the trail doesn't extend any further over that way, but it would be interesting if they did have an extension right here. Like I say, up there the watershed, and then the hazelnut trail over that way. And the poison oak right in front of me, right dead ahead. So I gotta be careful. I got shorts on today, so I gotta be even more careful than normal. I don't usually hike with shorts this time of year, but I did today, so I'm just gonna be cognizant. Ticks as well, you gotta watch out for ticks. Keep an eye on those. Got my hiking ultras, on today. I got my shoe insert, so I got a little more spring in my bounce in my step. That's where I walked by a little earlier. That's a nice road down there. Some people say, oh, how can anything grow around trees that are down? Rhododendrons will go there, and laurel trees and cypress trees. There's no problem. They just grow. Here's some sage. I believe that's rosemary. Yeah, rosemary. Right here. Wild rosemary. Romero. Sticky leaf, sticky monkey, different vegetation. Yeah, we got lots of rosemary here. Not sage. We will get sage in the inland arid parts and the foothills of California, all the way to the desert, but not so much on the coast. It'll grow here, but doesn't grow here naturally. So we'll pick this up. Part 3 coming up. I gotta do some more erasing to make room for this next video. Over and out for now.